Hello there, my name is HW.
Hey, I'm the Sooze.
Sooze, do we get more comments on any guitar than my beautiful white... Wait a minute!
What in the world happened?
What? They're multiplying now. This is... What is this, Sooze? What have you done?
I think I copied you.
You copied me. The Sooze copied me.
Oh, man.
Wait, which one is which? Oh, no. Which one is the real white telly?
They're so similar. I didn't even think they were that similar until I got them side by side.
What's the story, man? We've heard the story on this. Just to refresh people's memory, I was at a guitar shop in San Francisco called Real Guitars. My buddy who worked there said to me, hey, HW, you want to see my new telly? And it was hanging on the wall with a price tag. And I played it, and he was like, isn't this awesome? And I was like, dude, it's so awesome. It's so great. It was light, had this V-neck, and it just sounded like $1 million. And I said, wait, did you buy this yet? And he said, no. And I said, and he was like, you can buy it if you want. So I picked it up, got it from them, and I don't know really much about it. It's a pine body with what I was told might be Lawler pickups. But I think that was just, they were still trying to sell me the guitar.
Sure.
Like, what kind of pickups are these? Like, I think they're Lawlers.
I think they're Lawler.
I mean, it's got a Glendale bridge.
Okay.
So Lawlers would make sense.
Sure.
If it's not Lawlers, it's something like that. Whoever put this thing together, yeah. And it came in a gig bag that said Big Tex Guitars on it, who's made guitars for Billy Gibbons and stuff. So they might have made this guitar. I really have no idea.
Could have been the bag,
It could have just been a bag that got paired with it. And this is a used place, a used and vintage place. So who knows? I mean, whoever traded that thing in.
Can I ask you what they want to ask you right now?
Yeah.
Why don't you just take it apart and look at what's in there?
Because some things are better just left unexplained with a little mystery.
The mystery. Okay.
And we're going to get into this because even if we find out that these have the same pickups, we already noticed they sound different. Before we plug them in, we just hit that bass note.
Right.
And you could hear the difference.
Yeah, it's just...
It was slight, but that guitar has a little bit more weight.
This is alder.
It's so weird because I feel like you're holding my... I'm looking over.
But you have yours.
Yeah, even on the back of the neck, they're like... the back of the neck is like...
It's got that sanded thing back there.
It's the same way. It's like... It's weird. It's weird.
Whoever made that was definitely like in this camp of like... Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Danicasters, the Nashes, like they all just kind of do the same thing.
There's slight differences. The strap holders are like maybe the most discernible thing that I can see from here. The tuners are like the same.
Well, the biggest thing, the plates.
Oh, the plates. Mine's reversed.
They're reversed.
Yeah,
so that's how you know.
The knobs are different in the tone head. But they're both brass saddle, white tellies with what could be the same pickups.
Yeah, I don't know. So these are Lawlers. I believe it's a Lawler vintage and a Lawler special. It might just be two vintages. I forget. But,
and by the way, like holding these pickups look like they were manufactured at the same place, time.
Totally, yeah.
The way, just everything. But who knows? Carry on.
Shall we play them?
Well, wait, where'd you get this?
Oh, okay. So I got this on Reverb, and I think it was just a seller. I just got another Lawler or another Nash Strat.
Yeah.
But I got this one first. Oh no! I take that back. This was a trade that I did with a guy from the Facebook group. Oh yeah. So I traded my Silver Sky
KBW.
Yeah, straight up for this. We met in Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And so he had this, and was just he was like, I gotta try Silver Sky, and made it happen.
And you were like, I'm over the Silver Sky.
I like picking up guitars in person, by the way. Like that's a nice thing, rather than shipping. You don't know what they are. Like I got to play it first.
So apart from some small differences, this you've loved this telly for a long time. We've all loved this telly, and it's
safe
great.
to say that it was the inspiration. I got to get one of those.
Yeah. So let's have you play both of these tellies. Okay. We're playing through the String Singer 15 NBJ. You want to know something funny? I misspelled it when I did this set of profiles with the 15-inch speaker.
Oh,
so all the 15s say String Stinger.
Stinger. And
I'm not going to change it. So if you've ever noticed,
right,
they're all. What I realized was it made them all group together because it's alphabetical.
Yeah, sure. So if you type in Singer into Rig Manager, these won't come up.
It probably will because it'll find it in the rig tags.
Oh, I gotcha.
But anyway.
It's amazing.
It's NBJ1. It's very clean. We've got a pretty aggressive compressor. and it's fat on the bottom, and it's clean. It's very clean. And we're gonna hear these guitars, and we're gonna be able to hear bass, mids, treble, and see how they sound. Play that one, and then I'll hand you mine. Interesting. Wow. Okay, you first. What'd you think? What'd you notice? You played it.
I think overall I would call this one brighter, which is surprising to me. And this one it's just mellower, maybe a little bit less. I kind of always thought this was a loud guitar, but I think that this is as loud or louder.
Yeah.
It might be the pickup, I don't know what they are, the difference, but yeah, I mean, playing wise, for the player, the necks feel a lot different. You know, that V is definitely is there on this one. But that's not a small neck either. It's got some girth to it too, which I like.
Yeah, that is an interesting V. I don't know that I've run into that on another guitar, and I'm not sure. I know a lot of times builders are just getting like an all parts neck with a certain, and I know there's a soft V that people talk about.
Yeah.
But this V goes, I mean, it's pretty V'd until like the 5th. Kind of rounds out, but there's still a V like higher up until like the 7th or something. You can kind of feel it.
Totally, yeah.
And then it rounds out. I haven't encountered another neck quite like that, so I don't know exactly what it is, but I would say a couple things. Overall, this guitar I feel like has more bass, and I think that's more to do with the weight and the body.
Yeah,
right. It's a little bit heavier. It's not pine, and I think. Some of that guitar's tone is because of the pine. I don't own any other pine instruments. Yeah. I don't know that I ever have either. And you don't find like pine strats very much at all. So that's really my only experience with a pine body Telecaster. But people do like them a lot. I think they just like them because they're light and they sound a little different. But that neck pickup to me honestly sounds overly dark. And I've always noticed that, and because I have not owned a ton of Telecasters, I haven't noticed if that's just is that a 50s thing, is that a 60s thing? That has very 60s sounding pickups. Right. But is that just something that was, like, is that correct? Or is it a little dark? Or is it broken? I don't know. It doesn't sound broken, but it's definitely darker. Here, these pickups in terms of brightness sound a bit more matched to themselves, if that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So overall, I thought this one had like a stronger low end and more like presence up top. But the neck pickups are the most different. This one seems a little more together with itself. Yeah, totally. I preferred this one on the neck. I think it's, on the bridge, it was kind of a preference thing, I agree with you But that guitar is in a place in my heart where I never want anything to change on it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's just such a, like, I don't even care if it does things wrong.
Right.
And if that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I say that to say, like, if that were my only instrument, I might feel different. But when I heard it's that dark, no part of me wants to make a change. Even though if I were designing the guitar and someone showed me that neck pickup, I'd go, it's a little dark. I probably need something a little brighter. But I just know that we've created some magical tones with that guitar over the past, couple years.
What I would add to what you just said is I would always play this on the bridge. It just sounds so good that it's like, that's the voice of this guitar to me. It's just straight to the bridge, rock chords.
That's true. That's true. It's almost an Esquire in that way.
Well, there you go. Should we play him dirty? I wonder if we should
Let's play him dirty. Let me pull up. We'll get away from the. Let's go to the T-Rec, or how about the Z-Rec?
Oh yeah,
the Z-Recer. What's really interesting to me and what's going through my head right now is because I played this guitar when I made these profiles, and had I played that one, I might have done something differently.
Okay.
So I might have tried to cut more above 10K, 16 and 20K. I have a little roll-off going on these profiles to get that AC top end to chime, but not to be too present. And I use a number of guitars to sort of test it out, and just switch around, and then sort of usually go with the JM to just gain it up and down.
Sure, yeah. By the way, these are the
Z-Recer M25-4. This is Z-Recer M25-4. So this is the old greenbacks, the T1221 cone greenbacks.
Never get tired of saying it.
Never get tired of saying that. What I hear different about these is that this guitar now, I'm sort of understanding how it sounds a little different, like how to describe it.
Yeah.
So I would describe this guitar as being bright, but it has, and while it has presence, I would say, I'm guessing, just off the top of my head, 10, 16, 20 in that range is a little bit more rolled off than its own treble, which, 5, 8, right there. Okay.
Right.
Whereas this has a little more evenness between its treble and its presence frequencies. I'm hearing those higher presence frequencies, 10 and up, as loud as I'm hearing the treble.
Yeah.
Where this has a little roll off, but it might be that this has more treble. I don't know, chime is a weird thing. Like chime is really bright, but it's not always really present. Like blues have this roll off in the upper presence, but they're very trebly bright. But not trebly in a way that like a JBL or an EV, something that's super transparent, is very trebly. So it's hard to describe, but the difference I hear here is this, I think, has a little bit stronger output. It just seemed to drive this a little bit.
Yeah, even on the cleans, it's just like more
I felt like I heard a tiny bit more compression, and I'm guessing that's just more compression from hitting it harder, a little bit harder.
Okay.
And maybe that's just or I just heard the frequencies more even because the presence isn't as rolled off. So that actually sounded a little, I kind of liked that one more, a little more authority rock, whereas this I heard a little more, just slightly more polite in the presence.
I would call that classic. I would call this hi-fi. Like
that's yeah.
Because the way that pushes a dirty amp with like it's without that high-end sizzle presence, you focus more on the mids and the treble or whatever. And then this, I feel like, is more full range. A lot, like you said, a lot of bass, but also that high. It's just like across the board.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's exactly kind of that's like high fivers vintage
totally
overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's funny because they're going for the vintage broken in telly, but I think that one accomplishes it better with the voice of the pickups or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. I mean, that could be a function of the pine too.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge believer. I had someone comment recently. Oh, they commented about this telly, which is funny that we're saying it's not present and it's not treble. Because their comment was, wow, that thing sounds really good. It sounds really good, and I can't believe it's that bright for a rosewood neck telly. Which, my opinion is, that's a bunch of malarkey. The neck wood like that I don't think makes that much of a difference.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a cognitive bias thing. Now, I don't know. But I do accept that body wood and mass probably make the big difference.
Oh, sure.
I might even say mass probably makes the biggest difference rather than the type of wood.
Okay.
That's just me. I don't know. Obviously, though, you can hear a maple cap on a Les Paul. What does that mean? Is that because it's heavier? Could you just make a thicker SG, all mahogany? That's going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. So I guess the wood does make a difference somewhat. I don't know. So maybe it's the pine, and maybe these pickups are actually.
I bet this is a pound heavier. I think that's probably around 7 or something. I think this was close to 8 on the tag or whatever. So,
but that low end, it's a little more authoritative, and you can hear when they're just unplugged.
Yeah, totally.
Like I mean, we just hit the low E's and the high E's, and you made a comment. You were like, that guitar sounds like it sounds whether it's plugged in or not.
Yeah, like I recognize that sound.
Yeah, like an interesting sort of. Thing. It might be all pine tellies sound like this. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Have this quality.
Yeah, Bluesman down in Spring Hill, they make a lot of pine tellies. So that's the only other place I've played, pine guitars, yeah.
Well, I don't know what we learned.
It's just cool to have them next to each other.
It is. Both these guitars sound really good, and it's interesting. Like I said, I feel like I understand this guitar more having heard another guitar compared with it.
Yeah.
That's close.
Right.
Because these are very close sounding.
Oh, yeah.
I think the neck's less so, but that's because this one is almost a little like overly dark. But the bridge on the clean stuff, I heard more of a difference. But on that setting, I don't know that I could.
Like tell them apart, like in a mix or like just blind.
Next to each other, I could tell them apart.
Yeah.
Isolated, like. Right now, if I heard a clip with my eyes closed of one of these guitars, could I tell them apart? I don't believe so.
Yeah, sure.
Not without a reference. And here's going to be the problem now. Now people are going to think, because both of these guitars are just going to be appearing on the channel.
Right.
And people are going to think it's one guitar, but it's not. It's two.
Because you don't always show the headstock.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll know by the switch or where the switch is.
It's like the end of that movie, The Prestige.
Oh, yeah.
When you realize he had a twin.
Yeah, the whole time. That's how he was able to.
That's how he was so good.
That's a great movie. I need to watch that.
It's a really good movie.
Wow.
Well, we hope that this has provided you with a certain level of prestige. That doesn't make any sense.
Hey, we got another one of these. I don't want to speak out of turn, but another one of these coming up. A comparison to these guys right here.
Well, you did a thing.
I did another copy, but not as close.
Not as close. This one you didn't copy me. I think you you got bit by the strap bug. So we'll do.
And as we said, the Silver Sky left for this. It got replaced with something else.
With another thing.
Yeah.
And actually, they've already seen it.
Oh, that's right.
It was in the demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
Well,
we'll still talk about them. Yeah.
We'll still compare them. Well, I don't think we accomplished anything other than these are great guitars. My name has been HW.
I'm the Sooze.
HW and the Sooze. Out.